Ladies and far out, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Amal, and joining me tonight, I have George, Carl, and Andy, and we are the Monday Blues, coming to you with the Melbourne versus the Carlton Blues semi-final preview. Gentlemen, off the back of our first finals win in a decade, how are we feeling? Andy, I'll kick it off with you.
I feel great. I feel energized. I feel optimistic. I feel in charge. I feel elated. And I'm keen. I'm very, very keen.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Carl, how are you?
I feel nervous. I feel scared. I feel everything opposite to Andy. Nah, I feel all right, man. I feel good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous for tomorrow, but yeah, bring it on, I say.
Georgie.
Yeah, I'm probably a mix of both, and I just constantly go from one to another every time I, think about it or whatnot as well. So yeah, probably won't be much sleeping tonight, but just absolutely raring. Can't wait to walk towards the G tomorrow. Hey, so the battle of Mount Buller, RM Williams, and cheese boards versus Lygon Street, Nikes, and kebabs. So bring it on.
In for that battle. For those watching along, welcome. Welcome to tonight's live. Let us know how you're feeling. We've all just come off a win against the Swans last Friday night in extremely icy conditions, and we're expecting much better weather tomorrow night. What is it going to be? 23, 24 degrees tomorrow. It might cool down to about 16, 17. It's just going to be the perfect night for football. I am like Carl. I think I started off the week off the back of the Sydney win quite confident, right? Just we beat Sydney. Who's Melbourne? We'll smash Melbourne. But as the week has gone on and the suspension of Jack Martin has started to settle in my mind, it's become a bit more harder to feel as confident. So, like you, Carl, I'm a little nervous. I am.
What are you nervous about?
Semi-final.
It's not just. Yeah, look, it is. Yeah, obviously, it is a semi-final. However, I'm a little nervous about the fact that we are missing Jack Martin, and I think we're going to talk about that quite a bit. Losing Jack Martin, I think he's going to hurt us. Is anyone else on the same page there?
Yeah,
big loss,
huge loss,
definitely a big loss. But next man up, system. I have faith.
It's two forwards out, two forwards in. Effectively, really, when you Motlop essentially without elevation.
Talking about Harry's, wouldn't even classify.
Oh, Harry. Oh, yes. Well, it's and it's less about the names coming in and out, but obviously, Martin does hurt, because he's that sort of, he's the link player in the forward line. He's that composure. He's worth a couple of goals and some really good pressure and tackles. So effectively, everyone else has to step up, but we need it's contributions across the board. So we can't be relying on bombing it long to Charlie every single time. And we'll talk about the team and stuff, but we saw that, last time we played Melbourne, Charlie was coming up the ground a little bit and then just trying to set up the smaller forwards. So we might need a bit of that just to drag their defenders away. But Martin's it's a big out. As I said in the review, who would have thought we'd be more stressed about Martin out than Mackay? But that's the reality of sort of what he's proven to show in the second half of the season for our forward line. So it just means everyone's got to step up, chuck an extra 10% in, try and cover that loss. But next man up, as Andy said.
Yeah, and I think as far as the chat is concerned, quite a lot of people in there feeling confident, feeling pumped. And who is it? It's Isaac, pumped and ready to go. Seven rows from the boundary. That's pretty close. That's a nice place to be sitting tomorrow night. Amanda reckons next man up, boys. As Andy reminds us, trust the system. The system is going to be, I think, in question tomorrow night. I know I'm sounding negative. Maybe someone else should take over it. I'm a bit negative.
I'm not a fan, bro. I'm not a fan.
Andy, I'm throwing it over to you, man. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous
Done.
about tomorrow night. Andy's taking over the show tonight.
All right, done. Let me tell you something. We beat them last time, missing a few key players. Right?
Austin Shearer, notably.
They've had a rough week. They went out in straight sets last year, if I recall. The pressure is on them. We're playing on house money now. No, bro. Sorry, I'm getting very excited. When we beat the Gold Coast, everyone was like, it's just the Gold Coast. When we beat Hawthorn, it's just Hawthorn. When we beat Freo over there, Freo's not the best. Port rested players. Collingwood had an off night. Everyone's got a fucking excuse, bro. You know what I mean? We are the real deal. Teams should be fearing us. If we had our shit together a couple weeks earlier, we would have had a double chance. We'd be in Melbourne's position. But we're coming pretty hard at these blokes. Like they fear us. We're the ones coming in with our tail up. You know what I mean? Melbourne wasn't in the best form coming into finals. And this isn't just for Melbourne. This is for anyone who steps to us. I think Georgie said it in the review. The only team that can beat us is ourselves if we deviate from our system. If we deviate from what's worked. I'm super confident. I reckon we've got this. And bring on Brisbane. Bring on whoever. I'm fully keen. I think we've got this, and I think we've got this quite comfortably.
Far out, man. I don't know if Andy works at a
sweating.
bottle or he's a life coach, man. I'm pumped again, man. We're back.
The hairs. Carl was just checking the hairs on his arms. They're just raised a little bit there. Question for you guys though on their week, right? So obviously, Brayshaw knocked unconscious for a couple of minutes. A lot of noise from spilling out in the media from internally in the club. Braden Maynard getting his flowers thrown in the bin, or calling Brayshaw's mum and her cracking at him. All that kind of stuff that's come about and all the news and whatnot. Now the players were at his house. A bit of frosty reception for Maynard. They've seen now that obviously Maynard got off. Whatever your thoughts on that is, feel free to pop in the chat as well. But to you boys, do you think that this week and what's conspired, do you think that galvanizes them? That they get together and that sort of galvanizes the squad, or do you think that is a distraction?
Distraction, definitely. Just too much has happened. Like the whole week wasn't about. It's like we weren't even playing anyone. It was like there was a bye this week. It was just like Maynard.
A lot of noise.
Maynard,
a lot of noise about
Maynard. It was just Maynard. I liked it, to be honest.
It's good.
Yeah, it was great. It wasn't on us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love Andy's confidence. I just feel, look, I'm a bit confident. It's just Jack Martin out hurts. I know we're bringing Kennedy, but Kennedy isn't Jack Martin.
What if it would have? Sorry, go George.
Go Andy. No, you go Andy.
I was going to ask, would it hurt as much if Harry was still in the team?
Who's that? Is that the guy that cost us goals? That bloke?
But honestly, do you think the Jack Martin out would have hurt us as much if Harry was still in?
Yeah, I reckon.
Equally.
I feel his groundwork is second to none. Like out of nothing, there's a goal.
For me, I just you need someone to take Lever away from May. Take him away from the May Curnow contest. So Harry would have been that person. Had Martin been in, maybe Martin plays that sort of that third tall forward and tries to drag him away or whatnot. And they got Tomlinson, McDonald might swing forward, but on Kennedy, I know he's known Jack Martin, but could he be a Nick Dygan?
Kick 5.
Could he be a Nick Dygan? Can he
not?
have a Dygan moment? Can he?
Why not?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Hope
Our
he's
system
six.
allows for a player to do that. Bro, we beat Sydney in a final with Harry and Charlie kicking one between them?
Yep.
Like, who would if somebody told you that before the game, that Harry and Charlie would kick one between them, you would think we're losing this. Because we need 5 at least between them. And we've got so many avenues to goal now. So many of the younger guys, so many of the even the mid, bro, Cripps popped up, Doherty popped up, Cottrell popped up. We've got so many different avenues to goal that I'm honestly like, I don't think Melbourne have the answers.
I think,
And,
you know what?
I might be overconfident. Maybe I am.
No,
but
you're right. You're right.
I genuinely feel like
Melbourne hasn't got a forward line.
But they
and
don't.
we'll just kill them off the back line.
They've got a great back line.
They do.
They've
They
got a
do.
great back line.
You know where I think the game is going to be won tomorrow night?
Midfield.
So first one is the midfield, and I think we match them. If not, we're probably a little better given that they've got a few injuries and they're going to be having some depth midfielders probably come in, like maybe not depth, but it's not their A grade midfield that they would ideally like out on the ground. Secondly, it's going to be our entries into our forward 50. If we, and I think Andy, you mentioned it, and it was evident, right? Throughout the whole game last week against Sydney, we were long bombing it again. We cannot do that against Melbourne. They've got Lever and May.
We did that against them the last time we played as well.
And how many opportunities did we miss? Like in the first quarter, we were like 1 goal 4 or 1 goal 5, right?
Yeah.
And that was because the set shots that we had on goal were from like 45 out on a 45-degree angle. We cannot do that because it's only Charlie. And if it's only Charlie and the long bombs are coming directly for Charlie, Lever and May are just going to mop that up.
TDK needs to stand up.
TDK, yes, exactly.
He had a ripper game last week, and he has been in quite a bit of form, I think, since that Melbourne game. That Melbourne game, he wasn't clunking those marks, but he was in the right spot. He was getting to those contests. And I think he's just built. And he's another one that last week was really influential when the game was in the balance and when the game was there to be won in the first half. So I'm expecting, again, big things from TDK.
He definitely needs to clunk and snag a couple. I think it's a big game. Have his moment. A couple of quick shout outs. We didn't shout out Moose. Another late out. Moose might have to send him to Andrew Russell on this this calf strain. Yeah, it's late out. So shout out to Moose. He'll be with us on Sunday for the review for the win. And a quick one. Asher in the chat has thrown a few comments in there about who we think is the sub, petition for the sub. I'm answering it now. Very early rumor circulating is that it will be Ollie Hollands. That's from a pretty reliable source. So I know that you just mentioned that if Heinz petition for Dowd to be sub, he said if Hollands is sub, I will never watch another Carlton game again. I can probably say that you might be disappointed, but please tune in, please watch. We'll be fine.
We'll
talk about that when we hit teams. But
I think it is because of Akers, the sore shoulder.
Yeah,
it's insurance, right? It's insurance, but also like if I look at the sub for Motlop needs the full game. You've got, say, if it's Dow, we know that what Dow's going to give as a sub. I like it because he gets your clearances, can play a couple of different positions, mainly midfield clearances, fast off the mark, will impact the game somewhat, right? Ollie, obviously, his endurance, he'll run off his feet, but at the same time, he's quick. Like he's a quick lad, So coming in if a lot of the guys are fatigued, he goes hard at the contest as well. So, but I think, and we're jumping the gun a little bit talking about subs and teams, but I think that probably spells the end for Dow and Fisher as it's Carlton players effectively.
There's always next week and the week after.
That as well as emergencies, but yeah,
I still think Dow will be sub.
I don't,
because if worse comes to worse, and say God forbid fucking Akers comes off, you could put Walsh on the wing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just think we've got too much midfield depth on the ground.
Yeah.
To have another midfielder as sub. That's the only reason why I wouldn't go Dow.
It's good
because you've got Cripps, Walsh, Chera, and then you got Doherty that runs through the middle. You got Kennedy that runs through the middle. Akers has run through the middle. Hewitt's in the middle. We've just got too much midfield depth there to put another midfield. I'd love to see Dow get a game, but where's he going to fit?
Yeah. Like when was the
And you're
last
back-
time?
You're back.
When was the last time we played Hewitt and Kennedy in the same team?
Can't remember.
You have to go. Yeah, you have to go a long way back. So
Mm.
I think you're probably right there, Andy. Dow will miss because we've just got too many inside midfielders on the field tomorrow night.
Are we surprised about Jack?
Yes, I
No.
am.
No,
I am.
I'm not. He
Why,
hasn't,
why
played in
aren't
8,
you? Yeah.
he hasn't played in 8 weeks. You can't bring him into a final.
Neither's Kennedy.
Yeah, but at least Silvani came back to a VFL game and got injured again.
Kennedy had
Kennedy
minutes
stayed
in the
fit,
scratch match.
and he had
He had
scratch match
minutes in
last
the
week.
scratch match.
That's right.
It's obviously they I don't know. We don't know if he actually failed the fitness test or didn't, but obviously there's got to be some concern there.
Mm.
So the other thing as well is a concern of like seeing out the game. Is it because it's like, well, if we have to sub him out in the first or second quarter, all of a sudden we might be at a disadvantage. So there might be that. And if they're saying that, well, we feel that Kennedy's body might live up a little bit more to it, then I you got to trust Voss and the coach.
I was just
I'm
about to
sure
say
they'll
that.
say. I'm sure they'll say
Yeah.
why he didn't play or didn't get picked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with Georgie. You trust the guys that are making the calls right now.
Yeah.
Because it's got us into this position.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm.
Thanks, George.
Well, let's go through the lineups. Going out of the door for the D's: Angus Brayshaw with concussion, Bailey Laurie, Jacob Van Rooyen with who's been suspended, and Michael Hibbard. Coming in, Adam Tomlinson, Charlie Spargo, and James Jordan for the D's. Going out for Carlton, Harry Mackay and Jack Martin, and coming in, Matty Kennedy. Fullbacks. Or backline for Melbourne: Jack Lever, Adam Tomlinson, Jack Bowie, Judd McVie, Stephen May, and Christian Salem, going up against the forward line of Sam Doherty, Tom DeConning, Matty Owies, Lockie Fogarty, Charlie Curnow, and Jesse Motlop. Midfields: Lockie Hunter, Clayton Oliver, Ed Langdon, Max Scorn, Jack Viney, Kay Pickett. Going up against the midfield of Blake Akers, Paddy Cripps, Matty Cottrell, Mark Pitney, Adam Chera, and Sam Walsh. Forward line for Melbourne: James Jordan, Bailey Fritsch, Christian Petrarca, Tom Sparrow, Tom McDonald, and Alex Neil Bullen. Going against the best backline in the competition: Brody Kemp, Jacob Wiedering, Nick Newman, Alex Chincotta, Mitch McGovern, and Adam Sard. On the interchange bench: Charlie Spargo, Trent Rivers, Joel Smith, Kate Chandler, and for Carlton, Caleb Marchbank, George Hewitt, David Cunningham, and Matty Kennedy. Oh,
Solid.
If you look at that team, right, their backs and our forwards pretty evenly matched. I'd probably say maybe they just
Taller.
yeah, they're definitely taller.
Yeah.
Tomlinson is
Adds
makes
height.
them a lot taller. Yep.
Mm.
yep.
Mids pretty even, and their forward line compared to our back line, we smash them.
Mm.
So I feel like we've got the edge just on paper. You know, we've got a defense that can really cause problems for them going forward. Whereas our pressure forwards have that effect of stifling a defense from, you know, running off against us. So I think we've slightly got the edge on them on paper.
Love how 4 months ago it's like, what are the small forwards doing? We have no small forwards.
Well, our entire, it's funny you say that because our entire game revolves around pressure, right?
Yep.
And when our
Right.
forwards, when our small forwards weren't applying that pressure, they were nowhere. We were nowhere.
It's spot on. The forward, the tackles inside 50 as well. The count has been astronomical. The turnaround's been huge. So yeah, it's also stifling. So they've got a few blokes, of course, that can win the game off their own boot, right? So they might try and, you know, swing Petrarca forward to what you no doubt will probably see that to try and get another forward option. Max Gorn, you know, himself is you've seen it time and time again. His second halves is they're immense. Obviously he's got a well, yeah, you'd want Pitto to maybe sneakily. Pitto, Kennedy's back in the team. Pitto might go for Kennedy now.
Get him
After the training session, you know, how to bust up. Just to remind him that, hey, it's not Matt Kennedy. You want to keep going. But yeah, maybe a cheeky, you know, I'm sure they'll be jabbing up his toe, but maybe a cheeky step here and there. So
Yeah, well,
not condoning it.
No, condone it. That's fine.
Absolutely, we condone it.
I allow it.
In.
Just don't hit Blake Acres' shoulder, please.
and like on their ruck, right? I thought maybe that if he's got the broken toe, I don't know if he's labouring or whatnot. He's obviously, if he's good to go, he's good to go. I thought maybe bringing Grundy's an emergency, but obviously he's out the door. You can probably confidently say that. But I thought maybe swing going forward, bringing Grundy as a full-time ruck, because allegedly Grundy doesn't want to play forward, or he's not refusing, but he just doesn't like it, doesn't want to play forward. But it also shows me that they've got no faith in Josh Shackey. Like, they traded for this guy. He was a number 2 pick, number 2 or number 3 pick. I thought he's going to come in if Ben Brown was a maybe he had a fitness test or whatnot, but didn't he? They got him from, I think it was Brisbane Bulldogs or the other way around, and then to Melbourne. So they got no faith in him. So he's done as well. But McDonald's a danger as well. He's got a pretty decent rap against us. He always bobs in and kicks a couple against us. So, but yeah, surprising. There's both Shackey and Grundy are on the emergency list. So I just feel there might be a
late swing.
Yeah.
Well, last
Just
time
got a
Grundy
feeling.
played, TDK belted him.
Nullified him. Yeah, he nullified him. Yeah.
TDK put it all over him. So bring him.
And as I mentioned earlier, TDK's it becomes critical tomorrow. So
Big call playing a tall fella with a broken toe. That's a big call.
Apparently he's been playing like that a couple of weeks, but I don't know how true that is also. But
Players
just break his other one. Doesn't matter. Make it even. Only fair.
Throw an elbow.
Must be like a pinky toe or something, because
break his eye socket.
How are we going to win? Kill him.
And that's it for the Monday Blues, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, just quietly, I reckon, I just got a feeling, and I hope it's true. I reckon we, as fans, we probably almost outnumber them at their own home game.
Well, they're not back from Europe yet.
Bro, 100% we would. Do you know how many like dodgy ticket salesmen there are? And they're all like Carlton supporters are just buying everything. You know what I mean?
Honestly, like the noise has been, Carlton dominated for well, obviously it's a semi, right? It's a semi-final. We're all G. Carlton fans are G. But I feel like, at the same time, it is September. A few of them are back from Europe, the Melbourne fans and stuff like that, back from their holidays. So, in time for finals. But I honestly feel like it's going to be noisy, and I really hope we got a really good representation, which I'm confident we will. So,
absolutely,
bring the noise.
I'm so keen, boys. I reckon, I just reckon we get it done. And I reckon we're so high on confidence right now. We're really, I just hope the boys really took advantage of that week off and got plenty of rest, because, playing 4 good teams in a row is going to be hard, but we're going to do it. But it's going to take a lot out of the boys. So, and last week was especially like the second half, super physical, really intense. You just hope that the boys soaked it in and moved on quickly,
Yeah. I think the boys would have loved it. I know the 86 or 87,000 Carlton fans that were there loved it last week as well, and I'm desperately hoping that it's the same. It's I think part of the reason why I did end up being so nervous about the game until I had the live talk with Andy was because I don't want this high to end. Like,
no.
As Carlton supporters, we've been starved for so long, right? It's just we've been deprived of all happiness for a third of our lives, as George said quite a few weeks back, and now that two-thirds. My apologies. And now that we've finally started to taste a little bit of success, we've finally made it into the finals and everything like that. I think I'm nervous, not because I don't have faith in the team. I think we've got a very, very solid team going on to the park tomorrow night against the D's. It's more that I just don't want this really, really good feeling to end. Sound like a bit like a drug addict at the moment.
What's your
Chasing the
what
hype.
are a couple of the key matchups for you guys? Like, what do you think is going to decide it? I know we talked about where it's going to be won, but what are you excited to see in terms of matchups?
I'll be
Sure, I wanna-
interested to see who takes Pickett.
Newman.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh, actually, no.
I reckon
Fritsch
Sard.
maybe? Ooh.
I reckon Sard will run with him.
Sard can't keep up with Pickett, I don't think.
I think he can keep up with him. I don't know if he's got the strength, the physical strength to out-muscle Pickett. And Pickett's a very physical player. Pickett will get around you with strength as well as pace. So I don't know if Sard can stick the tackles that need to be stuck.
Chincotta, perhaps.
I'd love to see Chincotta on him. Mm.
Yeah, Chincotta's probably the right person. I reckon Chincotta will eat Pickett up
Easy.
if he gets him.
I reckon it'll be Newman. That makes sense.
But then there's also Fritsch.
Yeah, who takes
it's hard to match up on. I reckon Kemp runs with him.
Kemp?
Yeah, that's probably
Big game for Kemp, if that's the case.
Yep.
Whoever takes Fritsch, that's almost the game there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. That's Fritsch is one of the hardest forwards to match up on.
Yeah.
Arguably
Bailey.
because of his
Bailey.
and I feel like, and I said it in the review. I still feel like there's going to be a little surprise here and there where either one of our defenders swing forward potentially, and I feel like it might be McGovern. I said McGovern or Kemp, but I like Kemp down back a little bit too much. I just feel like there's going to be a surprise. Again, you don't want to experiment in a semi-final, but let's just say at the same time, we don't want to be bombing along in the forward line because, as I said, their key defensive posts are just going to keep eating that up.
Hey, we've got a wanker in the chat. We've got a bit of a wanker in the chat. I don't know who it is, but flag pies. Get that fucking filth out of our chat.
I think you meant flog pies.
Flog pies, wank pies.
That's all right. Ooh,
dog pies.
September 30, mate. September 30.
For those in the chat, watching along, let us know who you think the main matchups for tomorrow night's game are going to be. TDK and Gorn. How do you think that matchup is?
I think TDK. I think Pitternet does the job on Gorn.
Majority of it.
For the majority, like definitely for centre bounces, and like he'll take the majority.
Make him earn it.
Yeah,
make him earn it.
So those long contests, TDK will be there as well, and TDK will be the guy that's marking it. Pitternet's the one kind of stopping Gorn from getting up. Hopefully, he doesn't give too many frees. But
you definitely need Pitternet on Gorn in the middle because TDK struggled last week in the centre.
Dharma in the chat reckons Kerno and May is going to be a pretty critical one to the match. What do you guys think of that one?
Yeah, I think that's a bit of an obvious one. I think
can't wait to hear you.
9.
that's Andy being conservative, everyone.
Fine.
The noise at the G when the ball goes in the vicinity of Charlie is insane. So you could like when the ball goes in forward 50, just listen to that noise, and if he clunks it and kicks a few, wow.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's really important for us to get off to a good start.
Yes.
Right? So we did that against Sydney in finals. There was a couple games almost like, well, our game and the Melbourne game last week was almost identical. Collingwood got 5 or 6 goals up. Melbourne worked their way back into it. Just couldn't hit the front. We got 5 or so goals up. Sydney worked their way back, couldn't get back into it. So it just goes to show you hit 5 goals up in a final. It's hard for the other team to get back. It's different. It's totally different to a home and away game. You know, the pressure is next level, and the players are. And I said this: we are built for finals. Our entire system, our entire game plan is a finals game plan. So we're ready. We've been playing finals. We've had 12 elimination finals before this. So, man, bring it on. I'm so G'd up.
And that's what gives me a bit of confidence about Kennedy coming in, because he's sort of the player, that mold that is sort of built for it, right? The contested ball, the bull can pinch it forward and hopefully snag a few. So I've like it's nice to see him come in and play a role. But I reckon, get like we need a spread of goal kickers. You need like your 8, 9, 10, people pinching in with 1 or 2 here and there to help Charlie shoulder load. Geez, hopefully you can have a big one. You'd love to see that, but I think it starts from defense. So that's the best form of attack. Starts from defense, and everyone does their job.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be quite scrappy. And to your point, George, both teams are going to be looking at having, multiple goal scorers. They're not going to be relying on any one individual in their forward line. I know we would certainly like to look at Charlie to kick the majority of the goals. I just don't. I can't see that happening tomorrow night with both Lever and May in their backline. If you look at Melbourne, I think they're going to be relying on their midfield to come in and kick a few goals as well, the likes of Petrarca and Clary and everyone like that. I think from both ends, midfields will need to get involved and on the scoreboard. I think, it's going to be one out of the midfield.
What if we just come out and belt them by 8 goals?
Oh.
Just picture it for a second.
I can see it. People laugh at me, but I can see it. Like, bro, I don't know. We'll smash them. How much did we score last week?
74.
About 74, I think it was.
We'll win by 74 points. You heard it here first.
Marty in the chat reckons Charlie will have 21 goals to go for his 100th. Imagine that.
Just
I would jump off level 2.
We stormed the
I'll
G.
push off.
Oh jeez. It's gonna be nuts. The weather's good. Melbourne's in a bit of a heap at the moment. They've had some drama off field with the Brayshaw Maynard incident. Carlton with the as well, with Harry Mackay getting injured and Jack Martin getting suspended. Very much unfavourable, but nonetheless, it's going to be scrappy. It's going to be tight. It's not going to be, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be a blowout in any way, shape, or form for any team. I think it's going to be a scrap. And with that being said, gentlemen, let's go into the predictions. Those watching along, chuck in your predictions, winning margin, best on ground, and leading goal kicker. George, I'll kick it off with you.
Yeah, I think I was just going to say, definitely can't see a blowout happening. I think the week probably serves as a bit of a distraction to them initially, but I think once you cross that white line, and Simon Goodwin's a great coach, right? So he's going to say, back to work. Once they cross that white line, I think that's the league is gone, and you know what they're going to bring, right? They're a brutal team. So in saying that, I think it's going to be an absolutely, we're all going to have cardiac arrest by the end of it. It's going to be a tight contest.
Can't do it again.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? Get your vomit bag ready. Look, I think Carlton by
Andy.
Carlton by 3 points. I know I said 4 last time. I predicted the margin. But Carlton by 3 in a half-stopping finish. Best on ground. I'm going to say Walsh is going to back it up again. I'm confident that he's got a bit of sharpness into him. He looked really good last week, and I think he's just raring to go again. And I back him to deliver it lace out to our forwards, get some great inside 50s, clean balls in. You feel assured when he's got the ball. So I feel like confident that, say, if Kennedy's rotating in the midfield, Cripps and Hewitt blocking out for him, and he gets that run going with Chera. And I think Charlie doesn't have 2 quiet games in a row. And I'm not saying he was quiet by any stretch last week, but in front of 1 goal last week, I think he comes out and hits 4, 1 in each quarter to lift the roof. And and then we're off to Brisbane. Carl.
Imagine that. Blues, Maz reckons, sorry, Carl, just before we jump into we'll have a look at a few from the chat. Maz reckons Blues by 19. Marty, Blues by 11 points. Best on ground, Walsh. Peter reckons we should get our defibrillators and pacemakers ready. 7-day-old socks. It's going to be wild. Blues by 6 points. Aaron reckons Blues by 5 and best on ground Crips. And our friend Ava, Carlton by 16, best on ground Crips as well. Carl, I'll throw it to you.
As you said before, they haven't got a lot of forward power. Hence, I reckon their midfield is going to be going crazy, trying to score. So our midfield's got to be on the top of its game. Oh, fucking hell. I'm nervous just thinking about this. I'm going to say we win by 8 points. But I feel like we're going to trail most of the game. And we'll get in front. Yeah, and I think we'll get in front in the last quarter. I got Sam Doherty, best on ground. I feel like he's going to have a ripper. And I reckon Charlie's kicking 5. I'm going to go one more than you, George. I think he's kicking 5. Andy?
You guys are very kind to Melbourne. I think we win by 42. I genuinely feel like we'll smash them. And this isn't like just me doing it for theatrics now. I think we'll smash them. 42 points. I think, look, Charlie will kick a bag, maybe 5. I'm going to go Chera, best on ground. I'm going to go Chera, best on ground. Before we go on, there's a guy in the comments that thinks he's hilarious by wishing that Cripps does his ACL. Now, we don't like to wish bad on anybody except for Collingwood supporters and Collingwood players and Essendon players and supporters. So
anybody except, but the list was long.
So J&H Carpenters, don't wish bad on anyone, bro. It's not good. It's not good for your karma, mate. Especially an injury like that to a great man like Patrick Cripps. Pull up, lad. Go on, Amar.
Good call out, Andy. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Dharma, Blues by 1, best on ground, Chera. Hamza, Carlton by 4, best on ground, Chera. Marty can't do it anymore. He's going to have to bring his blood pressure monitor to every game following this one. Damo, Blues by 170, Charlie 15 goals, Walsh and Cripps with 50 disposals each. Yeah, seems legit. I like it.
Oh, imagine.
Luca, Carlton by 69, Cripps best on ground 40 plus, and Kerno kicks 8. He's had some of the Andy juice too. I like it. Peter, no, nothing there from Peter. Marissa, Blues by 8, best on ground, Chera and Motlop with 3. Bilal, Carlton by 28, best on ground, Chera. Motlop with 4. Motlop. I think small forwards will be dining out tomorrow night from either side. It could be a Pickett who bags a few. Who else do we have? We'll go one more. Irene, win by 18 and best on ground, Motlop. Interesting.
Shout out Omar in the comments. Best real estate agent in Victoria.
Oh, yeah, Omar. Blues by 106. Blues by 106. Imagine that.
Minimum.
I don't think Melbourne's fielding a team by the looks of this. Just going on the ground.
It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a scrap. Both midfields are going to be. It's going to be a midfield battle. It's not going to be won by defense or forward or offense or anything like that. It's going to be won out of the contest, and I think we're just slightly better. It is going to be tight. I don't think any team's going to run away with a couple of goals each and hold that lead. I think it's going to be within a goal. Either way, but because I'm a Carlton supporter, it's going to be the Blues that are going to win. I reckon one of the small forwards in Owies, Motlop, or not really that Fogarty kicks that many, but actually, no, I'll keep him out. It's going to be one of Owies or Motlop who kicks the most goals tomorrow night, and I'm going to say that it's going to be Motlop. And best on ground, I'm feeling Walsh is going to have a ripper. We really need our midfield to lower their eyes when they're coming into the forward line. We can't afford to be bombing it up and giving Lever and May the time and opportunity to assess what's happening with the ball in the air and then effectively defend it. We need to be coming in short and sharp every single time we go into the forward line. That's how I think we win the game tomorrow night and make our way to Brisbane. And Tomlinson, yes, Marty. Tomlinson as well. He's He's a big unit, and yeah, just no long bombs, please, unless absolutely necessary.
For everyone coming tomorrow night, and lucky enough to come tomorrow night, apparently a fully ticketed event sold out. And a lot of people have been looking for for tickets. Don't buy off dodgy resellers. Apparently, there's a lot of fines going around. 176 fines so far on the news this morning. There's a bit going on there. Yeah, be the 19th person. Bring the noise. Mark every great passage of play, every goal. You saw how much it meant to the players last week and how great the atmosphere was. Let's outnumber them, even if we don't have as many numbers at the end. You know, it's their home game, but make it feel like it is. Make it feel like it's hostile territory. Can't wait. We'll be on level 2 around between the point post and the 50. Yeah, so somewhere. I think maybe Carlton's end, but feel free. We love when you come around and say good day. So feel free to if you see us. We had a few people sending us random shots of the back of our heads through DM, which is always funny.
That's great. I've never seen the back of my head.
Turn around, take a photo.
But just remember, it's $5 a photo, please. Thank you. I'm excited, gents. I predict a very, very nervous lead up and build up to the game tomorrow night, but I think the nerves will calm down and then go back up and then sort of calm down and then go back up again. It's just going to be a nightmare tomorrow until the game kicks off. For those going, as George said, and a wonderful call out, make sure you're loud. Make sure that you're the 19th man or woman or it, boy, girl, fridge, whatever you want to call yourself tomorrow, and enjoy it. It's the first time we've been in a semi-final in a very, very long time. Let's make the most of it. Marty, just let us know where you are tomorrow. If you bring in your shisha, we'll come past maybe half-time, quarter-time, and three-quarter time. We'll join in. I'm excited.
Go the bag.
Especially if there's shisha there. If there's shisha, I'm down.
I'll bring the faham.
I'll tell you what, if we get to get past, well, we will get past Melbourne, then get past Brisbane and go to the G. We will probably camp out from the morning, barbecue, shisha, the works. We'll camp out from. I'll be there at 6 a.m. The night before, fuck it, bring a sleeping bag.
That would be epic.
There will be scenes. There will be absolute scenes.
Prelim. Oh, that sounds good.
Let's get through Melbourne.
Yeah.
Even though me and George have already booked accommodation and flights to Brisbane.
They're not joking either. You guys aren't joking either.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it in the preview in case we look stupid. But don't worry, we're confident. We're confident.
We are confident.
We're confident. So if anyone wants to crash, yeah, we got a place in Brisbane next Saturday night.
If anyone needs a place to stay, let us know.
It's happening.
Well, with that being said, and for those watching along, thank you for joining once again. Until the review where we talk about the win that was against the D's, it is sayonara from the Monday Blues.
Go the bag.
Cheers, gents.
Up the baggers.
No.